Hello, my name is Xutech, and today I shall be talking to Eve personality Zagdul. He's a member of the Shadowed Command Corporation, which is a part of the Fatal Ascension Alliance. Fatal Ascension and his corporation are currently a small part of the Deklein coalition, so he's interested in telling you more about his small group and their part in a larger alliance. Hello, Zagdul.
Hello. How are you?
Hi. Now, let's get started. What first attracted you to playing EVE Online?
I actually come from a long list of MMOs, and I got, dare say World of Warcraft. I've heard others have played that, and I went to Aeon, and I've played, plenty of other Blizzard games, and I was looking for something that had a little more substance to it, and EVE Online actually filled the substance hole, so to speak, where other games just kind of were theme parks.
Okay. So you might have researched the game a little before you tried it?
I researched it quite a bit. I actually have only been playing EVE Online for about 2 years now.
Okay.
I'm a new player to EVE, so to speak.
So when you first started playing, what did you decide you would try to do in the game?
I actually I always led other guilds and legions and things like that in other games, and I wanted to pull away from that. My purpose in EVE was actually to sit on the back burner and, be a grunt. And that actually, it didn't work out that way. But, but it's okay. I wanted to I wanted to be one of the numbers. I wanted to be Drake, frigate number 600 in a fleet of a bunch of people. But I wanted to see the epic fights. I wanted to see the warfare that happens in EVE. And I ended up getting really involved in this alliance, which offered a lot of opportunity for people who wanted to step up to the plate.
Now, you mentioned that you had been, obviously you had organized groups in other MMOs. Now that you are, obviously you're in some kind of command role in your corporation, how does it contrast with, say, running a raiding guild or a group in another MMO?
With other MMOs, you don't have things to worry about, like, spies sabotaging everything. The best thing the worst thing that can happen is that your bank in another MMO or your auction house, whatever you have, can get taken, and those assets are usually fairly simple to rebuild. With EVE Online, if an alliance is brought down or assets are destroyed or stolen, it hits a smaller alliance like ours a little bit harder. So ensuring that we were able to maintain our nice guy image and family atmosphere where people are allowed to step up to the plate and get promoted and still continue to function in that kind of that's kind of the where we have found ourselves. But be able to continue with that kind of a thing and then not have our stuff ripped out from underneath us it's a checks and balance that we always have to play, and it's really hard. That's the biggest difference, I'd say, is that you can't be as open with your stuff, and you can't be as trusting, which is hard because we usually like to be a trusting alliance and have good integrity and all of that stuff, but it's hard in a game like EVE when everybody's out to get you.
Now, before I ask you about your corporation, how did you find out about that corporation?
I was originally in the Aurelius Federation. It was a small corp that was in AOV and Providence, Apotheses of Virtue. They're also now a part of our clusterfuck coalition. Taking Fountain. But I was originally there, and I have my original FC now. He still bags me out about having heat-sinked Brutixes and stuff like that, and so I started in Pravi, and our corporation ended up leaving AOV, which was the Aurelius Federation at the time, and then we applied and joined Fatal Ascension. At the time, Fatal Ascension's biggest claim to fame was, and I was still in a release federation at the time, was camping the carry gate. And anybody who lived in Providence knows about the carry gate, and that was what we had. We were able to put good little, maybe 12, 15-man fleets together and camp that gate. We did a great job. We held off forces much larger than ours, and that's what we could do. We did our best.
Now, when you said that you hadn't been playing for long,
yes,
were many of the other people in your group learning with you as well?
Absolutely. We're a very young alliance in terms of skill points and players to EVE. We have a lot of very young players, and it's fun watching everybody. Oh my God, this game is awesome! The light bulb go off, so to speak.
Mm.
And yeah.
Okay, so moving from there, tell me about your corporation.
My corporation's primarily industry based. We do a lot of the Tech 2 production for Fatal Ascension. I got in here because I wanted to grow and expand in EVE. I found a need to want to excel, and in the corporation I was in, there was already enough leaders where Shadowed Command needed more people who they could rely on, who were go-getters.
So in a way, are you a industrialist group that does that to facilitate PvP, or was it originally industrial and it's expanded out to becoming obviously a economic support group?
No, we do it primarily just to support Fatal Ascension and the Alliance. I mean, we really don't do it for our own personal gain whatsoever, and we promote that within the Alliance as well. Where all corporations try to do their best to support the Alliance to make it grow.
Do you feel that's important? If giving advice to other people who are building small alliances and getting corporations working together, do you think it's important that you provide incentives and things like that to your fellow players?
That's pretty much all we do, is we try to make sure that there's something that we've tried to provide the space. All right, that's the first and foremost. What do you want out of the Alliance? You want space. You want to be able to come out here and rat and mine and enjoy EVE Online and be big fat Care Bears and love that. That's everybody wants to do that, and everybody wants to, either that or they want a PvP or they want to fight, and we try to provide everything for the PvP players to defend the space, so that way they're able to actually go out and fight for free. We try to do our best to do that as much as possible. So there's incentive